At both 2:15 p.m. before, me, my mom, and my sister went to not our local mall, but still a relatively nearby mall. I recall it was about a 40-minute drive to get there. And at around 8:30, 8:45 p.m., pretty much right after we got back, from that mall, and then trying to go to the Target that was at our local mall. But that local mall was blocked off. By officials. And law enforcement. At that Target, I was hoping to get a plastic bin to put the finished polystyrene drawing projects I have at my dad's place, but that mall was blocked off, so we couldn't go to the nearby Target. Despite that, though, I did get something during the time we were at that mall that was about a 40-minute drive away. If I recall, we were there roughly from 4:15 p.m. to about 7:30 p.m. My mom and my sister stopped at various stores that primarily sold clothing. One of them being Buckle and the other Freshetta. Or Fresh Sheeta. Something like that. And at another store besides the ones I mentioned, they sold, there was a smaller section in which they sold ornaments. And one of them looked pretty interesting. It was of a plate. That was pretty decorative. That had a fork and I think some tiramisu or some kind of cube-shaped cakes with various colors on them. It cost $24. Yeah, but it was the only thing I was interested in. I looked at the clothes as my mom and sister did. While on my phone. Otherwise, but none of the clothes interested me. Just that ornament really interested me. And it was at just one store. There was also one of those photo booth machines at one point. That first my mom and I took photos in. And then my mom and sister had some photos taken together. Each time, it being 2 copies of a strip of 4 photos for $6 each. For me and Mom, it was paid entirely in ones. And for my sister and Mom together, it was paid using a $5 bill and a $1 bill. This is significant because it represents the first time in years that we were able to get one of those strip photos at a shopping mall. Previous attempts prior to that failed because for some reason the photo booths wouldn't accept paper money. I recall that the first store was a Sephora, which primarily sells beauty products. And perfume. And then at one point there was a stop at a store that sold primarily perfume and various perfumes and colognes. At one point I saw a strange snack store that sold primarily snacks, some of them foreign or international. And the last store was a brief visit at an Express, which primarily sells clothes. And just a brief stop on the way out in which nothing was bought. The stop at Target was going to be a sort of last stop. And I had a choice between either going to the Target near the mall that was a 40-minute drive away, or the Target near our local mall, and I chose the Target near our local mall since it was more familiar, as in Mom and I had found plastic bins there previously, so I expected we would be able to find another such plastic bin at that Target. But again, it turned out that Target was blocked off by law enforcement. Me, my mom, and my sister had essentially leftovers from Christmas Day dinner at both around 2:15 p.m. and around 8:30, 8:45 p.m., both before and after we went to the mall that was a 40-minute drive away from us. I recall at one point today waking up around 5:50 in the morning after falling asleep around, I would say, 2 in the morning. And within an hour of waking up, I had a few Lincor white chocolate peppermint truffles. before going back to bed, and then waking up somewhere between 11 in the morning and 1 p.m. Though I'm leaning towards 11 in the morning. I recall first finally playing this game, Mojo Melee, around 9:30 p.m. After noticing that the easy badge for earning 9 trophies and by winning 3 duel matches, it was today's badge of the day on Kongregate. It seems to be considerably different from what my first impressions of it was based off what I read without actually going into the game. Based off of what I saw in the description, it seemed to imply that it would essentially be the game of chess with a unique skin on it. I mean, the description says Mojo Melee is the ultimate auto chess battler that will test your wit and strategy as you slay your way through opponents in real time, but this game doesn't seem to have much resemblance to chess, at least, and not to me, but regardless, it does seem pretty enjoyable based off of my impressions of it so far. I also had a cup of plain coffee shortly before we left for the mall that was a 40-minute drive away. I recall having it roughly from 3 to 4 p.m., that cup of plain coffee.